Hello and welcome to the Town Social episode number 84. Another episode, another week of disappointment for the Terriers in a game that meant the square root of nothing. This Town team greased up for the Grecians, bending over and taking 3 shots in the back door, succumbing to a 3-1 defeat away at Exeter. It all seemed so well when top scorer Josh Karoma curled in a perler from 20 yards, but we've all watched Town for far too long to know that any joy is going to last about as long as Town's light show experiment. At least the long-suffering away fans were treated to a Town goal of the season. Shame it didn't count, as Kane's superb volley was ruled out for an offside. At a stretch, I'd say the performance was slightly better than previous weeks, but trying to salvage any positives after a 3-1 defeat to Exeter just shows how far we've fallen these days. Kevin Nagle wants to know if he should do a fan appreciation day next Saturday. Well, Kev, I think I speak for everyone when I say that all the fans want to appreciate some fucking effort on the pitch. It's too late for all that now, of course, but at least we might win an air fryer next week. This season might be dead and done, but the lads' enthusiasm is still alive and kicking. And so joining me for tonight's penultimate post-match piss take are Gareth Kay, Greg Mara and Stephen Shepherd. Guys, welcome. Everybody, thank you so much. I know we're a little bit late. Feathers McGraw, I know, so ripping into us already, but we're here to talk Town. Dean Ball, hello to you. Douse2608, how are you doing, mate? Ben England, hello to you as well, mate. Right, let's get down to it, guys. So, Exeter away. Gaz, I mean, I was really hoping that Worthington for this game would field a few more youngsters. I know he put Eccleston in there, but you've got Iapenda there, youngster on the bench, and we're playing Joe Hodge instead that's just going to be going back to Wolves. It just baffled me, really, because this was a nothing game. Surely these games are about bedding the youngsters in, but regardless, I thought we did okay going to the first half. And then I guess, mate, the first talking point is the goal from Josh Karoma, and it's a typical Karoma goal, really. Gets it on the left-hand side. He does well, really, to shrug the defender off, and it's a typical Josh Karoma finish, isn't it? Cutting in and slotting it into the far corner.
Yeah, and he nearly scored in a similar way. What, 10 minutes before that? I think the guy that was playing right of the three for them turns, he absolutely had him on toast, didn't he? The bloke was absolutely shit scared of him. He just kept knocking the ball past him and basically turning on the afterburners and leaving him in his wake. As usual, there was a bit of stick for him on social media, saying he's channeling his inner Simon Baldry and looking for a new contract. I'm not sure about that. I think he might already have one somewhere else. But I thought we started all right, and it was better. I was worried about the team. I don't really fancy Turton anyway, and certainly don't fancy him at left back. Looked a bit of an odd one, but I guess when you've got left backs made out of balsa wood, you're always going to end up having to do a mend, aren't you? I would have been. We might have been better with Spencer at left back and Turton playing centre half to start with, because it was Turton that got absolutely skinned for the second for their equaliser. Spencer came a long way out with a bloke, left a massive gap in the middle of the pitch. He stuck it down the touchline, and Ollie Turton, it looked like it was me chasing the bloke down the wing. Ollie Turton's knees were creaking, weren't they? And he whipped it in. And because Spencer had gone walkabout, Eccleston got pulled across. Kasumu decides not to bother running with his bloke, who then gets a free tap in at the back post. And it was a disappointing, really, because I thought for the first 35 minutes, actually Town were in control. But I guess the biggest thing for me, really, out of the team was I thought where they might, like you said, where they might just show a pair, really. Drop one or two and maybe play one or two of the youngers. Aina was in the squad. You could have played Spencer at right back and Aina play centre half, but he chose not to. Spencer at left back and Aina centre half, chose not to. And of course, fans' favourite Matty Pearson being made captain. I mean, the mind fucking boggles, doesn't it? But yeah, the first half was okay. I was disappointed to be 1-1 at half time, but unfortunately, I thought after that, then really, Exeter started to really take the game to us in the second half. That's how it carried on for me.
Greg, I'm depressed fucker at the best of times, but watching some of these goals this season, mate, just as me tear my hair out. And that first goal, Gaz has mentioned it, but Turton just is nowhere near the ball. I mean, it's as easy a cross in as a guy's ever going to do. Eccleston's completely the wrong side of his man in the middle, but then it somehow goes through. And you're right, Kasumu just don't bother running, does he? He just leaves him, and it's just an easy tap in at back post. It's, as a fan, when you travel all that way down, if a team's going to score goals, you at least want them to work for them, don't you? And that were just so disappointing. But we've seen it so many times, haven't we?
I think the issue is square pegs round holes, and it's been like that all season. And I love Brodie Spencer. I actually think he'll probably end up being a centre back. I don't think he's quite got the pace to be a full back, but he's been dragged out, caught in no man's land. I thought Ollie Turton was done at Huddersfield Town after he got dragged off against, I think it was Lincoln, where he missed an easy ball that Nichols played straight into him. It was a difficult first half. We controlled the ball, but as ever, teams know how to play against Huddersfield Town, especially when you've got centre backs who can't pick a pass, and that's no disrespect, but sit back, let Matty Pearson do something. Ball goes back to Chapman. For all the Town fans who think the sun shines out of his arse as well, by the way, his distribution is not particularly very good when he's kicking out a player when he's trying to play a simple ball. Teams are very, very savvy at how to play Huddersfield Town. Sit back, let us fuck up, hit us on the counter attack, and that's what the first goal was. We controlled the first half. The issue being that Exeter's weakness for me was down their right hand flank throughout the game, but Koroma's getting pulled inside. You've got a lineup where you've got David Kasumu at right wing, and again, that's because of how shit the squad is, if I'm being quite honest with you. We've got a squad where we've only got one fit first team centre back. We've got a squad where we only have one winger contracted. And that's probably the legacy of Lee Bromby, offering nice big contracts to the likes of Ollie Turton, Tom Lees, etc., but also to the dross that Mark Cartwright brought in, and the setup that Michael Duff had. So that goal going in just before half time, I think just killed us a little bit. And I'm skipping on to the second half, but I think the other thing that killed us was the referee. That first half, there was a couple of iffy decisions. Joe Hodge got the ball back to in midfield, played a simple ball back to Spencer, wiped out from behind. Didn't even play advantage, didn't even go back for a clear and obvious yellow card, and you skip into the second half. And I think the thing that really killed us was when that goal got disallowed from Herbie Kane. Wonderful ball in by Anthony Evans. Lovely strike from Herbie Kane. Charles does what he should be doing, blocking the keeper's view. The bald Lino absolutely got rinsed by Town fans in that second half. Didn't know what he was doing. Him and referee are deciding on basing on whatever the goalkeeper's trying to say. And when that after about 45 seconds, got disallowed, I just think their heads went again. Team lacking confidence, square pegs round holes. I feel a bit sorry for John Worthington, if I'm being honest with you. He's been given a right mismatch to the end of the season. He put it in our group chat, didn't he? Saying, I don't get the format, I don't get the lineup. Not sure what Worthy's done well. The one thing that John Worthington has done well is played 4 at the back, and we created a lot of chances in that game. But that goal killed us, and then after that, the heads went. Josh Koroma, 2 gilt-edged chances, both through on goal twice. Really heavy touch, takes it around the keeper. Secondary bad touch, chance gone. Another chance when we're 2-1 down. Should have squared it to Joe Taylor. We created more than enough in that game. Matty Pearson hit the top of the bar. Lasse Sorensen had a free header where he hit straight into the ground. Karama forced another good save from their keeper, but it's more the defensive shambles which cost us that game, and it's the fact that, at half time, you take off a lad who can play centre back. You've got a centre back on the bench in Loic Aina. It's quite obvious nobody rates him. Why has he been given such a contract if nobody rates him? You've got Ollie Turton at centre back, and our lack of pace, they absolutely exploited it. Fair play to Exeter, good away game. Town showed bits, but the bits that they showed are all leaving us in the summer, potentially. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and one thing you say about a John Worthington side is we do create lots of chances, but defensively, even in the Championship, we were all over, weren't we? We conceded loads of goals. But we do create things. But the problem is, you're right, it's a team lacking in confidence. So when those chances do come, we're just so hesitant at times, or we always make the wrong decision in the final third when it matters. And Steve, we'll touch on this again, mate, because it is where the game turned. Kane scores a beauty, doesn't he? And I can only assume that is it because there's one player between the keeper that is stood behind the keeper, and there's one player between him and the. So is it technically offside? I don't know, but it's one of them, innit? It's one of them where if it's Towns, if it's away side, yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to rationalise it. You know, I'm trying to think why it was given, and that's the only thing I can think of. But I can't help but thinking if it's the other way, that stands, because that's just Town all over, isn't it, with these decisions. The game changes on that, doesn't it?
I must have watched that about 20 times, and I still can't understand what he's giving it for. I don't even see them getting given it Premier League. They're like, what on earth is he doing? Changes on that, doesn't it? Typical Town. Heads drop. No desire, no fight, no leadership, no backbone. We've been saying it for months now, haven't we? I mean, all we've heard is the players are on the grass, the players are on the beach now. They're not interested. They've either got new contracts at other clubs. There's none of them wanting to play for contracts at our club anymore. It's time now just to... I liked it that, like we've said, he brought in some kids and tried little bits, but he should be trying more. There's no point in playing Deadwood there. Joe Hodge, I don't see... He's not going to be a Championship footballer or a Premier League footballer. I wouldn't have played him on Saturday, but it is what it is, isn't it, I suppose. We're just going through motions, aren't we? We're slipping further and further down the league table, which is not going to do us no favours for money and stuff like that. But it's just depressing, isn't it? We say it week in, week out at the moment. No desire, no fight, no interest. It's just shit to watch, isn't it? It's not good. Not good at all. As soon as we went like 1-up, I was laughing and joking. I was at a cricket club watching it on my iPad. And I says, we'll end up losing. It's just the same at Stockport last week. Go the one goal, and there's just not there. There's no fight, desire, or their heads just drop instantly, and it's depressing. The second goal, that's just embarrassing. That's like my little lads football team this morning, under 9s, caught ball watching. But wow, he gets it there, and he gets that free little flick in 6-yard box. It's shocking. Professional footballers. And like I say, I just feel sorry for all lads that went all the way down there expecting some. I mean, probably they'll had the tickets booked, won't they, and made a weekend of it. So hopefully they had a few nice pints and some were out down there. So that's all I can say, really. It's just getting worse every week we watch. The mass clear out needed. Mass clear out.
I think if it had any sense for the down 6 pints before the game started, Steve, because there was nothing to suggest that anything was going to be better, was there? I jokingly said when I saw it come up, I said to my missus, "We'll lose this 3-1," and I didn't think it. I thought it'd probably be 2-1 or a draw, but I just it's Town, innit? That's the story of this year.
You can just see it coming.
Yeah. As soon as they get a goal back, there's only one team in it, really, from that. But I did think they were, and you're right, Greg, that Pearson, he hits a bar with that, should have gone in. We had chances and we did have a bit of bad luck as well. But when you defend like that, Gaz, them 2 goals in that second half, I mean, it's a Tommy Tonks-esque long throw, isn't it? That second one, and flicked on and then flicked on again. I mean, does Chapman have any blame here? Should he have done better? I don't know.
I think he got caught by the second flick. He started to move towards the ball after the first flick. So I think the lad sticking his foot out meant he was completely out of position. But I mean, it was just a long throw. We've got to be able to deal with long throws. And I know how many times we've said it. And now Mark Cartwright's gone. It sounds like people in the club are saying it. We've just gone on physicality, haven't we? We're not built for League One, and Worthy acknowledged that finally for the weekend, which was nice to hear. And I think, if there is a positive, which Mark Harris has actually pointed out, I actually thought we probably looked better at Brighton because Kane was playing. Somebody actually got on the ball and tried to dictate and pass the ball. But when you're defending like that, and the third goal in some ways was even worse. You know, I mean, it was a short corner. We switched off from the short corner. We decided to come out quick because he played a short corner. Except two people didn't fucking bother, didn't get the message. They were waiting for, I don't know, waiting for a fucking telegram or a letter or what's it on to start to come out, but they just left so much space. And again, it was just pumped in, and the blokes just flicked it straight past Chappers. But I thought after Exeter scored the second, they really turned the screw on us. And I know Pearson hit the bar, but other than that, they could have had 2 or 3 more as well. It was a shambles. The second and third goals were piss poor, really. But usual thing. After that mistake from the long throw, no reaction, nobody giving anybody a bollocking, no finger pointing, no cajoling, just a shrug of the shoulders and a stroll back to the halfway line for yet another kick-off against yet another crap goal that we've conceded.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, it don't matter, does it, at the end of the day, the result, but those fans packed out away end pretty much again, travelling all that way. I know we've got some based down south, but there'll be fans that travelled 4, 5, 6 hours to get to watch that shite. And
Greg hasn't got back yet. That's how bad it is.
I'm still here. And that's how what makes it worse as well. The bastards weren't serving any booze, so we couldn't even slurp off at half time and have a drink. No booze served at Exeter. Somebody said it was because we had more than 700 fans. So it was nice only having one beer before the game, watching that shower of. And then luckily found a co-op that served some vocation beers, and I watched the FA Cup, which was a fantastic game, by the way. But yeah, listen, there was a lot of people that went down. I think quite a few people, including myself, made a weekend of it. One of the lads I worked with, he did as well. It's one of those. A couple of people I saw got up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. for a 6 a.m. train and didn't get home till 1 o'clock at night. I feel some players just don't get it anymore, and I think this is just a recurring theme. You go back to that side that got us to the Premier League, and even that side that got to the playoff final a couple of years ago, they got it. Some of them they just don't get it anymore. That connection between fan and club is wearing very thin. There's not a lot of. I know people slag off those who clap, but Joe Taylor came over. Johnny Ogg came over after the game. Lee Nichols did as well. Chapman did as well. Keepers always are very good at that. At least they respect the people who travel. I think there's some of them who just like to walk down tunnel, sulk. There's a disconnect at the minute, and I don't know how you solve it. And I think there's some lads who were down there on Saturday who were just looking to abuse players. You do you. You've paid your money. You can do what you want. It's a bit toxic when at 1-1 they were doing it. Poor Anthony Evans, he did beat the first man, didn't beat the second man, and he's getting pelters in the first half from a corner. I think a couple of fans need to have a good long hard look in the mirror as well. But it goes back to, where the club is after, 48 months of Kevin Nagel being in charge. And the conversations that we were having before the game were, have you renewed? Have you renewed? A lot of people still haven't renewed yet. And a lot of people are saying it depended on the result on Saturday for those who've gone. And a few people are saying, I'd rather put that 400 and something quid that they pay in the Riverside into going to away games next season. So I think the entire club needs a reset, and I think whoever's advising Kevin Nagel is an idiot. And if the rumour is he's been paying money for consultants to tell them how much they charge, we had a cheeky look at what Exeter were charging, which is roughly the same as what we're charging next season, but they're a more affluent part of the world. Charging £6 for a pint of cask beer as well, by the way, around there. You won't see that in Huddersfield. But I just think there's a complete and utter disconnect between the football club and the fans, and that doesn't get resolved overnight. That takes a culture change. The last time we saw a culture change of that magnitude was when Dean Hoyle came in. He had to have a few resets when he was in charge of the club. Remember when we got rid of Nigel Clibbins? That was a big one. And I'm kind of looking at it now. And I'll be honest, if they don't announce a new director of football this week, I think a lot of people won't be renewing. We've got, is it 5 days left? Good luck, Kev.
Yeah.
I've still not renewed mine.
No, I haven't.
You're not going to buy it.
No.
Ian Kilroy has, because he's a super fan.
That's because he's been sacked as being a coach, hasn't he? Allegedly.
Tom Kelly, hello to you, mate. Hi, boys. Love this show. Nice one. We love you joining, mate. Thank you for your comments. Christian, hello to you. Steve B, evening, chaps. What a bag of shite we are. Well, I can't disagree at the moment. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Pearson saying insane choice of a season of insanity, Christian says. But Feathers McGraw's pointed out, I wouldn't say worshipped by the fans, but it was held in high regard, wasn't he? You know, Keithley Cannavaro and all that. And now suddenly you look at where we are now with it. And I think you're right, Greg. I saw that on social media, you know, while saying, oh, the fans hate the players hate the fans. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it does look that way, doesn't it, from the outside? There's a real, I mean, hate's a strong word, but there's a real dislike between the fans and the players and the fans. You know, they're not going over to acknowledge their support. And fans, I think a lot of them are just frustrated and pissed off, and they feel embarrassed by some of the performances this season. And, you know, maybe the Premier League years have tainted some of them and warped the views of what's acceptable and what isn't. But I just think when the hierarchy are coming out, giving it the big and saying, well, promotion is the aim, playoffs minimum. You know, what are you expecting? You know that these are big claims. People get ideas. You set very high expectations, and then when you under-deliver season after season after season, people just get ground down, don't they? And the season tickets, you know, I say I haven't renewed, not yet. I'm still undecided. But I look at what Town has spent on agents' fees, over £1 million, and that equates to, I worked it out, and that's 2,640 of my season tickets, the cost of my tickets where I sit, just on fucking agents' fees, spaffed up the wall. So, you know, is my money going to be invested wisely? Have they given me a product that's worth a 68% increase on my season ticket? Well, from what I've seen this season, absolutely not. It's a 68% decrease, would be more fair. It's very hard to justify paying over £400 when you've no manager, no director of football, we've no idea what the plan is, we've no idea what players are going to be here, we don't know what style of play we're going to have. I mean, I think they'll be lucky to have 8,000, 7,000 or 8,000. I think people will buckle towards it. I think quite a few will renew, more out of habit than enjoyment. You go with your mates, don't you? It becomes a habit. But honestly, I think they're going to get a shock because, like you say, unless there's a big change, somebody to draw the people in, new director of football, somewhat a Wagner-esque incoming, I just don't see people being persuaded to renew.
No, I don't either. I think the form in general has been, since Christmas, has been absolutely abysmal. And although the form before Christmas was okay, let's be honest, it wasn't right exciting. But I can take that if we're winning. If we're winning enough games, I can take that. I accept it's League One. But, you know, we're going to finish when I found the notes when we're talking about Joe Taylor. When we signed Joe Taylor, we were 4 points off Wrexham and Wickham in second and third. We were fourth, and we were 6 points behind Birmingham. We're currently 41 points behind Birmingham, 25 points behind Wrexham, who got promoted. We're 9 points off the playoffs. That'll be 12 after Saturday, almost certainly, won't it? I mean, they've not even gone down with a. I think even going to county, they've gone down with a whimper. That's probably doing them too much of a service. You know, there's not a player near team of the season, the EFL team of the season, despite the fact, according to Kevin Nagle, we've got the second best squad in the league. I mean, everybody at the club's getting pelters now. Everybody from Brookie to Carmichael Dave's getting hammered at the moment, aren't they? And I think in the short term, that's not going to stop. And I'm, I said last week, the depth of the reset, the dearth of quality individuals in the club at all levels, in the boardroom and on the pitch, is alarming. And I just hope that, Kevin just seems to have been bamboozled by Cartwright, because he was just parroting. I can just imagine if you're the director of football and you're under pressure, everything Kevin Nagel is saying is what you'd be saying to your boss. He must have been parroting it, because he doesn't know, does he? He doesn't know what a good Division 1 squad looks like. But we need to start seeing some actions and not some talk. He talked about a winning culture at the end of last season, at the beginning of this season. Can show me where that is. Not one element of our football club has developed as it in the last year, and you struggle to find one that hasn't gone backwards. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, boys, because I'm not sure Kevin's going to have the. I think if Jake Edwards were going, he would have gone by now. I don't think there's negotiations going in the background. I think if he were going, he'd be gone. But yeah, me and Connor were chatting about this yesterday. I think 7,500, 8,000 tops season ticket holders. So it's halved in 2 seasons almost. So yeah, I haven't renewed yet, but as I said last week, a bit like you said, Nick, I'll probably end up renewing because I go and me and Connor go. So if I don't renew, we're gonna miss out on that. It's not the football, is it? In some ways, but he drives from Ipswich. His desire to drive from Ipswich to watch that fucking dross has diminished at rapid pace of knots. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it needs some change. But I keep saying it. I'm not sure there's a desire for the depth of change at the club that I think we really need.
Tom says, get Kev on here. No chance, mate. No call chance of that. There's more chance of us beating Orient than that happening. Yeah. Well, you just got to look at it. Like you said, Greg, a lot of people be looking at it thinking, well, actually, looking at those prices, what if I just go to maybe 10 home games and go to more away games where there's better atmosphere? We'll probably still lose. We're still shite, but at least there's better atmosphere in the stand, isn't there? So I think a lot of people probably just decide to do that because you're not going to be short of seats. It's not like if you don't get a season ticket, you're not going to get a seat. So I think a lot will just decide to do that. I mean,
I was going to say, I think the biggest mistake that they've made with this is you've got a lot of people who will only do Saturday games. And I used to be a season ticket holder. I used to play cricket all the time. And if you play cricket, you miss 4 or 5 games a season easy. People won't come on a Tuesday night. Them fans, and you would guarantee 250 quid off them this season. If you whacked up to 299, I think they still would have paid it. But you're whacking up to, in some cases, up to 420 quid. And if they can only do Saturday games, 16 games potentially, they're looking at that going, I might as well just pay on the day. And I think I don't know. Like I said, if the rumour is that the Huddersfield Town Football Club has paid a consultancy firm tens of thousands of pounds to look at season ticket holders, Kevin Nagel needs to apologise for his ineptitude as a businessman, because Huddersfield Town Football Club is not a Premier League football club. We are at best, I think we are a top-end Championship club. That's our natural where we need to be. We might be able to scrimp into that hierarchy if we're lucky. You've got to build the foundations properly. You need a fan base that's engaged. You need recruitment that's good. The recruitment's been abysmal, and the engagement with the fan base has been absolutely awful. And I said this a couple of weeks ago to someone. I said they're treating us like they would do an American team. We're not fans. We are not passionate stakeholders. We are a cash cow. We are there to buy shirts at 60 quid a pop. We are there to pay, what's a pie now, £5? When 3 years ago it was £3.50. We're there to be rinsed of our money. And for what? For the wages and the agents' fees that are going to these players who are not performing. I think there just needs to be a reset. And I think the reset comes with a director of football. That has to be done. I think it needs to be looking at the recruitment. There's a really interesting piece, I think it was in the Eye a couple of weeks ago, and said, what is Huddersfield Town's vision as a football club? We played Exeter this weekend. They've got an academy. They're bringing players through. like Jay Stansfield, Ollie Watkins. They bring players through, sell them on. That is what their kind of identity is, and they've done very well as a club. You look at clubs that are punching above the weight in Brentford and Brighton. They're owned by spread bettors who are very good with statistics. They've gone down like that kind of Moneyball route, but they buy young and sell on and reinvest. You look at our squad. I don't think there's a lot of resale value in that squad. There's not a lot of players that could step up to a higher level. The club doesn't know what it is. We don't have an academy really. You look at Andy's lad, as we're going to call him, Mr. Iapenda's on the bench. Give him a chance. You've got I've seen Cameron Aisha, I believe he's called. I saw him come at Doncaster in the Johnson's Paint Trophy. He looks a handful. Get him on the bench. Pavel Abbott's lad's on bench. Get him on the bench. If we're going to go down that way, but the club don't know what they're doing. And the thing I feel most disappointed in is with the alleged amount of money that Kevin Nagel's put in, you would have thought that he'd actually see some return. And the only return I've seen is disappointment. And again, it's probably a lesson for all foreign owners who are coming into the English football world. You need the right people around you. So I think this summer's going to be interesting. I think off the pitch, we look a better outfit. Getting gigs on at the stadium, it's money in H-Town's a very good idea. Improving that kind of aspect to get more money spent down at the club, great. But I worry about if you're only getting 10, 12,000 in like we used to get before Dean took over, what's the turnover going to be? What's the atmosphere going to be like? And it just, I was there. I just remember, I think it was Millwall on a Tuesday night 15, 16 years ago. There wasn't even 6,000 there. That's where we're going to end up if this continues.
Your ground's too big for you. Can't
Well,
wait for
it
that
will
to be
do,
sold.
won't it?
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree.
Everything's got a price, and this is the thing. I'd love
Slippery
to know.
road.
I know Mr. Was it Kevin Maguire will come out with him, so we won't see this season's turnover until next year. But it'll be interesting to compare this season's turnover to next season's turnover in terms of season ticket sales. Because despite putting the prices up, I can guarantee you that turnover would have significantly reduced. And Nagel's kind of painted himself into a corner. He came over, we'll chuck some free kids tickets. Lad I was talking to on Saturday, he's 22. He's gone from paying 100 and something this season to being pretty much his season tickets more than doubled at 22 years old, and he's just starting out in his career. Somebody who's on, level entry wage, which is less than the average wage in this country. So you're talking 23, 24 grand, is expected to travel from other side at Pennines, all that cost with it, pay an adult season ticket. Now, he's done it because he's at that age where he'll go with his mates. He loves it. He's seen us go up, and he's seen us come, as a kid, seen us come back down. He still buys into that. But how many other people like that will just turn around and go no? Again, the comment of getting Kev on here, I'd just love somebody to ask him the question, what were you thinking? Because I don't think you'll ever get a right answer out of him. And I'd appreciate some honesty. You'd have got that with D. You might have even got that with Potless as well. We're not getting it at the minute from the club.
No. And look, they'll turn around and say, well, all the other teams in League One have similar prices. But they've risen over the last 10 years. They haven't just lumped 60, 70, 80% on in 1 year. They've had a steady increase with inflation over many years. And it was great what Dean did, freezing the prices. But unfortunately, this is a situation that we're at now. And I think you're right, if they'd have increased it 50 quid, maybe last season, and then 50 quid this season, with an explanation as to why, people probably would have bought into that and been okay. But what idiot business? What business in the real world delivers a shite product that was worse than last year, but is going to make you pay anything up to 100% more for it? Any other business doing that would just fold, wouldn't it? So why do they think it's going to be any different for Huddersfield? Yeah, we all love the club, but we don't love this team at the moment. So I say it again, this is hard-earned money here, and people don't have just cash to throw away willy-nilly. If it's the choice between that and going on holiday somewhere, or putting food on table, or putting your kids in sports clubs, or doing it, people will choose that. Especially when you go there and it's just dross game after game after game with zero atmosphere at home. Away fans singing as we fucking trudge away from the ground, heads down, ready to drown our sorrows. I just don't get it. I don't get the logic. And do you think he'll push the deadline back? Do you think, because it's only Friday, isn't it? And don't look like there's a mad rush, does there, to get him? Are they going to put them up after the day? Because originally they said they were going to put them up, but I hadn't seen anything since. So is that
Can't
still
do
the
that,
plan?
surely.
Well,
Can't do that. It'd be very, very brave if he did. I
don't know.
just think we need more out of the club. We need for him to speak and tell us what's going on a bit more, I think. I know the season quite aren't finished, but if they did put it back another month, I think it'd, like I say, I haven't done it yet. I probably will do. I'm one of them, but I'm waiting for something to come out. We don't know what, like you said, direction, director of football, whether we need one or not. We don't know nothing, do we really? Why should we put in 400 quid and end up going and watching Ollie Turton and Ruffles again? Because it's just, there's no reset button with Town, is there? Since like the Premier League years, Dean were badly advised. We got hook, line and sinker and wasted millions with Congola, Dictave. The list goes on. Pritchard on 50 grand a week. That's come down then. And then we're still now, like Birmingham this year, got rid of everybody, didn't they? Total reset. And we've still got these players on contracts. It's like now is the time to draw the line and rebuild and restart.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the players out of contract, guys, because look, you could argue maybe last season, look, a lot of them were still under contract. Birmingham were quite lucky with how it fell, Steve, weren't they? Like a lot of their
to a degree,
they're out of contract, so it's easy to shift on. Whereas who's going to buy our sacks of shit? But anyway, we've got Marshall Lodge, Chirira, Longvite going, obviously, who are all loan players. And then we've got Jonathan Ogg, Danny Ward, Ruffles, Turton, Lees, Pearson, Karoma, contracts expiring. Would you keep any one of those players? No.
No.
Greg,
Danny Ward. Danny Ward, when he started the season, Town have averaged 2.43 points a game. I can guarantee you Town will be in a lot better position if Danny Ward was fit for all season.
Yeah, but he's never fit though, is he?
I mean,
he's
when
never
he
fit.
He scores 16 goals in a season. If Danny Ward would take a pay cut, I'd keep him. He's the only one I keep though. Josh Karoma, he might be our top scorer, but sadly just proved the amount of chances the amount of blind alleys he runs into, you can defend against him quite easily. Johnny Hogg, if he was doing the Dean Whitehead role and going to coaching, I would say there's probably a position for him there. I suspect that depends whoever the manager is, but the only player I can realistically make a case for keeping is Danny Ward, because I think experience, the fact that we play so much better, he's our best striker. He is still our best striker, despite what Town fans say. But the rest of them can go. And it's unfortunate because I think Matty Pearson's I know the attitude might stink, but his legs went. It's unfortunate. Same with Ollie Turton. They've just lost that yard of pace that did it. We saw it with Matthew Loughton when we got him on loan a couple of years ago. His legs are gone. And when you lose that yard of pace, for whatever reason, whether it's injuries or anything, professional. I remember years ago when I was a journalism student, I interviewed Andy Allsworth, and he was talking about going into, I think he went to Oldham, and he just said a couple of injuries, and your career looking at a top end League One player, Championship clubs looking at you then fall down the leagues quite quickly. That's what's happened with these players. It's not the fact that for whatever reason people say that they don't care, etc. I just don't think they've got the legs anymore. Tom Lees is 34. They can all go. They'll all be on big money. But I will say this: people can slag me off all they want. Danny Ward, I think there's a case for him, and Ian agrees with me.
If ever there was a reason to disagree with you, Greg, you've just said it. He's inconsistent, and his injury record, and also his appetite is questionable for me. So I wouldn't be. But we don't need any of them. I think, like I said, this club needs a deep reset. I wouldn't even have a go on the coaching staff. I'd give him a testimonial. I'd thank him for his service, and I'd wave him bye-bye. He's been a core part, a captain of the team since being relegated from the Premier League. I mean, he's been a core part of it. So, you know, I'm not sure how you can keep him in and around the coaching environment. For me, I think you've got to move him on, and we've got to take the opportunity, because if we don't take the opportunity, we're going to be in trouble, because as I said last week or the week before, whenever it was, about the crap that we've been left behind from what Cartwright has signed. We've got another year, 2 years, in some cases 3 years more of dealing with this overpaid dross that we've been legged up with. Sorba Thomas still got another year, hasn't he? What's going to happen there? I mean, and he's on chunky wages, my guess is. That's why we loaned him out, as long as his attitude. His salary is probably another reason we had him out the door. Another year of Ladapo. Let's be honest, no matter who the manager is, the bloke's not going to kick a ball for Huddersfield Town, is he? But he's a first team wage, taking up a seat. You know, there's loads of those kind of things that still really are in abeyance, and it's whether Kevin's brave enough to just cut some of these ties and pay some of these contracts up. You might be as well just paying the contract up, getting the bloke out there. Bojan to come in. All of these players. Kyle Hudlin still got 2 years.
Another year for us.
You're just like, they're just in the way, aren't they? Well, this is a consequence of the crap that we've signed over the last few years. Some of which, by the way, much I love to blame Mark Cartwright, were his predecessors. The shite we've been left with. Yeah. So I think my worry is if you don't. I mean, Nathan, I was reading somebody's comment before about Nathan Clark on Radio Leeds saying he expects to be a boatload of managers applying. And whilst we all go, who's going to want to fucking come here? The reality is it's one of 92 professional football management jobs. I mean, when we talk about elite sport, it's elite beyond elite, isn't it? So, you know, in terms of sports management, there's going to be a load of people queuing up for the job. There'll be people. My worry is who's going to make that decision, and what are we doing? Are we having the director of football or not? Even if Kev can't tell us who it is, at least gives us a clue what his plan is. Because if you believe what was said, we weren't even talking to any managers. So where the fuck does that leave us? Where are we now? What am I looking for my calendar? I don't know what date it is, but you know, where does that leave us? We can't be going into close season with no management structure. Otherwise,
it's got to be this week. This week they've got to get the people in, because
it has to be, Greg.
In effect, as you know, legally or by the FA rules, you're not allowed to approach players, but agents will be talking to clubs. They've been talking since probably start of this month for those who are out of contracts, and you know, realistically, you know, can't see any of them staying. If I'm being honest, I was being a little bit facetious when I said Danny Ward, but I still would have kept him if I'm playing Football Manager. I'm giving him a year. You've got quite big wages off there, and Town, let's be realistically, second biggest wage bill this season after Birmingham. It's just a way of getting a lot of those lads off, and they need to get it right. You know, I saw a few comments in the chat about, you know, we don't need a director of football. I vehemently disagree. The world's changed. This is not a club was run by Brian Clough anymore. This is Alex Ferguson. You need irons in the fire, as Stan Turnant would say. Ross Wilson was our first venture into that, and we brought some interesting talent because of Ross Wilson. Philip Billing, who we brought for not a lot and sold for a lot of money. We wouldn't have done that if we hadn't had a director of football. So we need a recruitment strategy. We need the right people in. We had that with Stuart Webber. We had that with Ross Wilson. I can't remember, for the love of the money, the guy who came from Celtic in our first season in the Premier League, but he was the person who brought in Jonas Lösel and Zanka and De Poitre. And they're all really good players, if I'm being honest with you all. We need somebody like that. We need somebody who knows, I'd say, the British Isles and bits of Europe quite well. where we can find those hidden gems, and we need the contacts for loan players. I know Joe Hodges was a Man City prodigy, but he's a very tidy player, but he's just not got the physical attributes to do what he needs to do. Chariwa, he can run with the ball, can't create sod all. Nigel is your BDD, as I call him, BTEC Van Dijk. He's the only one that I think has got that kind of ability that we need from a loan signing, and we haven't really had a lot of those in recent times. We had that Chelsea connection for a number of years. Issy Brown, Casey Palmer, Levi Colwill. But we need to sign good young players who will develop, who've got the attributes in this league, and we need some League One experience, some big lads. And I don't want to go full on 4-4-2, but this league isn't that difficult. You need a couple of wingers. You need to get someone out wide who can whip a ball into a big lad and a small lad who can play off. A small lad plays off the second balls, and the big lad does all the donkey work. Jordan Rhodes, why did he score 40 odd goals in this league? Because he had Alan Lee and Lee Novak next to him doing all the dirty work. When you've got Joe Taylor and Dion Charles, who are 5'0", being out jumped at Charlton, by Lloyd Jones and Mark Gillespie, who are 6 foot odd, it's not going to work. And that really shows in the kind of the development of this football club. And I think the thing that really, really pisses me off most is the revisionism that it keeps seeping in. People saying, "Oh, we shouldn't have sat Michael Duff." Michael Duff has also driven the recruitment of who we've brought in, because he was playing 5-3-2. People say it's 3 at the back, 3-5-2, 3-4-3. It was 5-3-2. The only way we went on that winning run earlier in the season is because he was forced to play Karoma as a left winger, left wing back, and he's playing left midfield. As soon as Ruskin came in, we went Northampton away. We're playing 5 at the back. So we've built a squad around a formation that doesn't really work at this level, and around a squad which doesn't have any pace, doesn't have any height. There are just a bunch of below average height lads who haven't got the pace for this league. Just get back to the basics. A couple of big lads, a couple of wingers whipping balls in, and it will go up quite easily. And we'll probably stay up in the division above by doing that. We just need to find the next Gary Roberts, the next Anthony Pilkington, and the next Michael Collins.
I think we're going to struggle, if truth be told, though. I think we're going to be shopping around for free agents. I can't see him spending. I was at Cricket Club yesterday and we're talking to my Giants contact, and that deal with the share in Halifax, that ain't over the line yet. That's going to go on all summer. So if he's got his head tied up with stadium and all that side of it, I mean, it's even come out now that he's trying to buy Odeon, in it, cinema. If he's got a retail manager head on and this is what he's wanting to do, then this squad's going to be, it's going to be hard. So if he can't get the free agents, maybe he's going to offer like your Ruffles and Turns another year. It's going to be tough.
I think if he does, that'll be the end for a lot of fans, mate.
But if his head's involved in this stadium thing, and like I said, that Giants thing ain't going away. It's not done yet. Even though Giants and Davey or whatever had said it were all done and sealed, it ain't done yet, from what I've been informed. And if he's wanting to buy cinema,
I can see a lot of development, in and around that area. They talked about a conference venue. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some residential investment going on, and which is fine, but it's got to.
That, isn't it? That's taking money away from the pitch, and it's the pitch that we need, the players. We need to get the pitch right to get the fans back on side, because it's all right buying stadiums and cinemas and stuff, but at the moment, the product that he's selling is on the pitch is shite, isn't it?
But we can only spend so much on the revenue we've got, and that's the problem. And the problem is we've still got big earners at the club, like you said, guys. Sorba Thomas, Reece Seeley, we've still got for another year. I mean, pound for pound, he's one of the worst signings we've ever made. I know he scored a few goals, but he's just the wages he must be on for what he's contributed is astronomical. We've got Ladapo, we've got Wiles still for another year, who, as you know, he has contributed to go quite a few goals and he creates a lot of big chances and what have you. But he's going to be on big wage. Spencer's contract ends next season. So is he going to renew, or is he going to be another that ends up just going? Or are we going to try and sell him before he walks the note? There's a lot to sort out, isn't there? And I just look at our form this year. You know, since the turn of the year, we're 21st in the form table after 23 games. We've only won 6 games. We've lost 14. That's relegation form.
Mm.
And don't write off a relegation battle next season. I'm telling you now, with the way that we're going at the moment, it's just a constant decline. We have no direction. We have no plan. Players that can't be asked. We've seen it with so many clubs, haven't we? They get into this downward spiral, this habit of losing. We're habitual losers. And I think unless we have major changes, you know, you've got potentially Hull coming down, Derby, Cardiff are already down, but Preston, Luton, Plymouth, you know, these are big sides. They aren't going to be easy. Bolton, Barnsley, Rotherham are only going to get stronger. It's going to be a tougher league, I think, next season, despite Birmingham and Wrexham leaving it. So, are we ready for the challenge? Do we know what the hell we're doing?
They don't at the moment, do they?
I mean, it could be worse. You could be like Walsall and winning 13 games, and they've just bottled a chance to go up potentially at the expense of Bradford. And that, you know what? That's more of a concern that we might finish below Bradford next season, because I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 15 years or 20 years of being far superior than that shithole of a side. But do you know what? I think this week you've got to see some movement. I think this is probably the biggest decision that we've had in a very long time, in terms of the right person and right people at the club, right manager. I think the last time we probably had that was a decade ago when David Wagner came in, because you know, Dean kind of went all in on him, and it worked. It works a bit quicker than everyone expected. So it's one of them. I think this is probably the biggest decision in a decade. If we don't get it right, we will end up being at best a middling League One club, which is a shame, because, you know, the size of the fan base, the size of the town, we really should be a mid-table championship club. But, you know, it's sport, and the beauty of this sport is that you earn where you are. You don't just buy it. Well, unless you're Manchester City, but then again, they might be facing 115 points for deduction. Hopefully, I think if we choose well, we should get playoffs next season if we recruit well. But the last 4 years, and it has to be said, the last 4 years, the recruitment's been embarrassing, and I think. Again, I'd love to be on a fly on the wall with the calls from the United States and the reality and the realism of what's going on. You just need the right people in the club. And when was the last time we had that? Carlos?
Probably. I mean, the worst thing about this year is, bar Brum, the league was there. You know, second place was for grabs. I don't think that's a bit. I mean, you know, this sounds like sour grapes, but Wrexham are fucking dreadful. I mean, I watched Wrexham Charlton yesterday. They were they're a typical Phil Parkinson side. They weren't really hard, though. You know, what they do is they close down every ball. They never stopped running for 90 minutes, Wrexham, yesterday. Charlton couldn't get into their stride because they absolutely grafted the bollocks off. And the fans got behind them and putting all the Hollywood money to one side. And they've got a little bit of quality in there. But actually, the work rate was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And that was
their
a
team
to me. Sorry, Steve.
So, yeah, just agreeing with you. It's because they're a team.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen that since Carlos or before that Wagner. We're not a team, are we? We're just not. Like we said, we were pining for them all to be back on the grass. They're all on a beach now or looking for other clubs. We're not a team.
No. Well, they're everything together. That's the epitome of everything together. They should be using that slogan. We're not everything together. Forget your fucking corporate slogan bollocks. Drop all your slogans, because it's meaningless. What we see on that pitch matters. And we are as far removed from everything together now as we possibly could be. We're completely broken. I think Wrexham, I think they'll probably peak at Championship. I think they'll find it tough, guys. But I've got to give them full credit. You know, everyone's writing about saying, well, yeah, but they've no quality. They won't do well. And they've just stuck it out there, similar to Wickham. Everyone wrote them off, but they were still up there fighting hard. Stockport. They're all giving 100% every game, and you've just got to take your hat off to them because and I'm jealous because that's all I want for my team week in, week out, and we've just not seen it.
Well, you look at the signing they made in January, and we signed Taylor, they signed Smith. Smith fitted perfectly into the way they play, into their formation, and what they wanted from a striker they were signing. We signed Joe Taylor because Cartwright tried to get him in fucking August and missed out. Correct. He kept dropping him texts. I mean, that was it. And with that being, I said at the time when we signed him, my worry for the lad was, I'm not sure he's as good as everybody fucking thinks he is. And people keep telling me, apart from Joe Taylor, we've got no. I'm like, well, fucking, what's Joe Taylor done since he's been here? One goal at Blackpool, which was a brilliant goal, by the way. What's he done fucking since? He can't get on pitch. But you look at, and I think that sums up for me, really, is I think Wrexham's wage bill will be less than ours, but they've got a squad that's got Jay Rodriguez and Stephen Fletcher in it. Two players who can do everything we can't seem to do. Big, strong, annoying, frustrating, and then Sam Smith can play off them. They had a plan because that's how Phil Parkinson likes to play, and instead we signed two fucking midgets. One of whom was injured, clearly.
Well, Dion Charles looks... I mean, I've never seen such a decline.
He
scored 7 goals before he came to us, but he looks like he's never played as a striker in his life, doesn't he?
None in 13.
Is it 17 or 13? No?
I thought it was 13, I'd seen.
Yeah. Unreal, isn't it?
Joe Taylor, I'm certain he was injured when he signed.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure it must have been. It must have been because he just looks unfit now. Even now, it looks like he's had a lock-in at Greg's. He just won't like. It looks like he needs a full pre-season intense training just to get him up to speed. But there's something wrong there, and all the way he interacts with the rest of the team, the way they do. I think there's something whether there's something going on behind the scenes. Or he doesn't seem part of it the same to me. Whether he's just sulking because he's not starting, I don't know. But there's something not right there. I'm sure. I mean, that's all in my opinion. But
goals come from creativity, and that's it's, I do feel a bit sorry for them. Dion Charles on Saturday ran his certainly for the first 20 minutes ran his knackers off, had a bit of a squabble with one of their bigger lads. It's the kind of thing you want to see, but he didn't have any options in the box, and probably the one chance that we should have had, Koroma didn't square it to Taylor. We're not making the right decisions in the right areas. And it goes back to, again, how do you get out of this division? You don't play 5 at the back, you play 4 at the back. You can either go 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whatever you want to say it. You have 2 wingers, you have a big striker, and you have big centre backs. That's how you get out of this league. And you have a lot of players who give a lot of fight. And we just don't have that. And going back to that list, realistically, I don't think any of them stay. And we also we try and play just we're trying to play a football at a higher level, passing it around the back. It's just very easy to defend it within in this league, unless you've got a big target man who can win a ball, and you've got players running off to play a second ball. So the reason Wrexham and to an extent Wickham as well have done really well is because they play to their strengths. We do not have any strengths, and we don't have the pace to get in behind. We don't play well on the counter attack, and we don't have anyone to kind of hold the ball up top, and we don't even play a real quick, pizzazzy passing style. The style's not there, and so again, we just need a reset. The club needs a reset. We need some direction this week. We need somebody to come in, say this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play. This is the manager that we're going to bring in. This is the kind of players that we want. That reset needs to happen this week, because I can tell you, for one, we'll be on the back foot again, and we'll be on the back foot with a lot less money in the bag. My fear is we've signed a lot of players on the risk, the kind of we've got a hidden gem here. Bolker. Everyone keeps saying, well, he's a Rolls Royce defender. You know, if he was a horse, he'd have been shot by now. He'd have been in the glue factory. Ruskin was rated the worst player in the Eredivisie. You know, oh yeah, but League One's different. He looks okay against crap teams, but again, not as fast as I thought he was going to be. The only areas that the only player that I can say in the last probably 18 months that we signed that you go, oh, you know what, that's a bit of a good one, is Mikael Miller. And we've taken a chance on him because of his injury record. We've been playing a really fast and loose game. So I think we just need to put a pin in it, get the right people in, and we've got to give the club the opportunity to do that. And if 3-4 months' time we're here at the start of the season and we're in a shit situation, do you know what? I think that's when the fans turn properly. Or somebody needs to go to Kevin and went, cheers, Kev, off you pop. Let's find somebody who can do it, you know, properly, because it's not an easy one. And my fear is, with the amount of money that's been pumped into this football club and the lack of success, my fear is a Rubery era. But that's something I hope it's just the worst of all situations.
Let's not depress ourselves anymore, Craig, with that possibility. Yeah, let's turn our attention to the Orient game. But by the way, guys, thank you so much for all your comments. You know, there's loads coming in here. Can't keep up with them all, but it's really good. I'm trying to put as many on as possible. But if you like this, give us a like and give us a follow. It's completely free. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, where you can listen to us again in crystal clear sound. You don't have to look at my ugly face. So it's a win-win situation. So yeah, thank you very much for your support as always, guys. The Orient game, look, Orient need to win, obviously, to seal playoffs. We couldn't give a fuck. So, you know, what do we do, guys? Do we? I mean, we'd already said, like, do we just play the kids and, you know, give them a bit of game time? Do we give Jonathan Ogg his last game, what we think will probably be his last game, or bring him on as a sub? You know, what? How are you going to approach this, Gaz? What would you do for this one, mate?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't. We have a responsibility to Reading to put a team out that can try and win the game. So what I don't want to see is, despite the fact we've just all said we want to see the youngsters, what Worthy can't do is throw 5 people in for a debut. That's not right. And I think I said when we played Leyton Orient at their place, we went and I was really impressed about. I know we won 3-1 on the night, but we got a bit lucky with the second and third goal. And I thought they were good, but they're another team, as Greg points out, that's got loads of pace down the wings, loads of pace down the sides. So he needs to think about the fullbacks, doesn't he? He needs to make sure that we're set up certainly down the sides. I don't think there'll be masses of changes from Saturday because we did do better. We did play better, and on another day, it's a game we maybe could have won. That goal goes in to make it 2-1, or Pearson scores the equaliser to make it 2-2, then we might have got something out of the game. So I don't think there'll be tons of changes, and we've got to do the right thing by Reading as well, haven't we? But having said all of that, I can't see anything but a Leyton Orient victory.
Greg, I mean, someone said here about a lap of honour. I mean, surely not. Surely they're not going to do a lap of honour after this season. Surely not. With the kids on, I mean, I'll be amazed if there's any fans left. I'd imagine a lot will walk out.
They should go sit in stand, Nick, and let us fucking go around and clap us.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Well, Steve will tell you, I'll be in the Vulcan about 4:30 probably, whatever happens anyway. So I'm not asked about that. I couldn't give a shit. I'll stay for Warnock's and I'll stay when we do something, but you know, it's not for me. I'm only bothered that if we just give it a good go. That's all I want. I like Leyton Orient as football club. They're well run, ironically, by Gaz's old mate, Mark Devlin. He didn't wear a suit, and Mark didn't wear a suit when he was showing us his big gate, and Gaz got really annoyed by it. But yeah, they've done all right. Leyton Orient, well run club. Galbraith is a decent footballer. Again, got a couple of big lads. I just, you know what, I know roughly what team we're going to play. I'm assuming it's going to be Chapman and again. Pearson has to start because we don't have any other centre backs. I'd like to see Loic Aina given a game, just so we've got a proper centre back. I think Hogg has to start. If it is his last game, I'd want him to start. I know some fans have turned on him, but you know that's where you go. And you have a couple of young ones on the bench, and if you're 2-0 up, that's when you're chucking. You know, Aisha, get Pavel Abbott's lad on the bench as well, just because you know I love Pavel Abbott, and it'd be nice. Just have a good core team starting, and have a couple of young lads on the bench. Just give it a good go. The problem is we don't have any wingers, which we know. Callum Marshall getting suspended means he's the only other player that can play right wing that isn't a lone player. Well, I know he's a lone player, but he works his arse off. That lad's obviously playing for a contract. He's not going to make it Premier League level, is he? We're going to be playing square pegs round holes. So it'll be really interesting what Worthy does in that regard, you know, because Kasuma at right wing didn't work. So, yeah, get a young lad who can play out wide, start him. We did it with Aaron Rowe in the Premier League, gave him a game. I think he's at Gillingham now. He's making it as a professional. We've done it before. Just play square pegs and square holes. 2 wingers, get a striker, play Wiles Evans at number 10, Hogg alongside Cass, Aina and Pearson at centre backs, play a right back and play a proper right back and a proper left back. It'd be Ruffles and another. Just try and finish the season off with a bit of respect.
Yeah, and Steve, apparently, you know, as I said earlier, Kev were wondering whether to do Fan Appreciation Day. Carmichael Dave went on down at the Mac because that's the font of all. That's the place where you consult the fan base rather than HTSA and the more professional fan groups, isn't it? But promptly told him where to go. But you know, we might win an air fryer or a PS5. It might not all be bad, eh? There might be something to cheer. But mate, I mean, is there any way we can possibly get motivated for this, or I'm desperately trying to figure out, you know, justify going. But I've quite, you know, Dave says don't boo the players. It's not very nice. It's not very. I mean, especially if they bring family on and kids, surely not. They're not going to, because it isn't nice. But I can't see a world where they won't be booed at some point, mate. It's just been a horror show, hasn't it?
I think it'll be a 3-1 defeat again, and I don't think there'll be anybody in there to clap them round anyway. Fortunately, I'm not going. I'm off on holiday, so I'll get away with that. I was just looking back on Twitter there. Ginger Org, he put on Leyton Orient were 5 points behind Town when we sacked Duff. They're now 11 in front of us. A 16-point swing in 9 games. Everybody forgot about them. It were Reading, Charlton, Bolton. Everybody forgot about Leyton Orient, and now we can scupper them. It's just an absolute shit show of how bad we've been this year. And if this is going to be the standard next year, we are going to be relegation fodder, and it'll be League 2. It's just this year. I mean, we were quite lucky that 16 unbeaten run. We had a settled 3, didn't we? Kasuma, Kane, and Wiles, and they were playing all right. But since that got broken up with all injuries and stuff like that, this year has just been horrendous. Like going back 10 years, 20 years with that, it's awful. And for that stat, you know, Leyton Orient to forget about that, and 16-point swing in 9 games. We're so off it, aren't we? We don't deserve. Honestly, I think I'm glad I'm not going. I think it'll be another 3-1, 4-1 defeat, and I don't think there'll be anybody there to clap them off anyway.
James Murgatroy's just put on a positive note. I was delighted to learn the Terrier won the mascot race in Exeter. Apparently, he did, mate. Yeah, first hooky in Huddersfield represented to win in any sport for a long time, mate. So there's a bit of positive there, but yeah, my prediction 2-0 Leyton Orient, easy win. We are the easiest. If you could pick any team right now in League One to play in a game that you need to get a result to get in playoffs, it will be Huddersfield Town, wouldn't it? It will be Huddersfield Town. So for me, easy 2-0. Fans were talking about boycotting it. I don't think they will, but I don't think there'll be many people there, and I think they'll all get up and go at 80 minutes, maybe in some sort of
if not
gesture
before.
of defiance against the regime. But yeah, it's just going to be a sad sight at the end, isn't it? Gaz, prediction, mate?
I'm going with you. I think 2-0 is probably realistic. I think. I do think I agree with Greg. By the way, I think it'd be nice for Oggy to get a run out. I think that's not weakening the team particularly. But we've got to get Kane into the side. If Kane's fit enough to play, you've got to let him play his way back into the summer. So I wouldn't even have Kasuma in that. Just for that fucking equaliser on Saturday, I'd have dropped Kasuma anyway, letting that bloke run. So be Hogg and Kane, and then Wiles in the 3 for me. But yeah, I just think Orient are going to be revved. They had a ding-dong game on Saturday. They won 3-2 away at Mansfield after letting Mansfield back into the game a couple of times, but had enough to finish it off. So, to be honest, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a 2-3 reverse or something, just where we score a couple of goals and actually have a go. And if we lose, we lose. But I have a feeling there'll be too many players thinking about the summer holidays and next year.
Greg, what do you think, mate?
I'm going to be a dreamer. I think Town are going to win 2-1. Johnny Hogg's going to last kick at game, get his second goal of the season, a la Andy Booth, also against Leyton Orient. Let's not forget that. And everyone's going to be really happy as Larry. I don't really care. If I'm being honest with you, I want it done. I'll be honest.
He'll be Vulcan at half time.
I'm not gonna lie. I was done as soon as Terry the Terrier won that race. It was the biggest cheer we've had this season, and I'm not taking a piss either. Like, I'm done. It's cricket season now. I'm only going to get pissed with your brother-in-law, Shep. So that's it for me. The thing for me is if Johnny Hogg is leaving, you don't get many more like him anymore. It's a bit of a club for 11 years.
He deserves a send-off, doesn't he?
Yeah, and do you know what? He probably is a very limited player, and I don't think we've only used him right for about 3 or 4 years, which is he does all the dirty work against somebody who pulls the strings. And ironically, I thought this season was going to be a season where we saw the best of him again, because Herbie Kane could have been that lad who pulled the strings, while Johnny Hogg did all the dirty work. So I'd like to see those two just start. I'd like to see him get a send off, and I'd like to see the players fight for somebody who is, one of those players that in 20, 30 years, people will tell their kids about, because they'll say, you can make it as a footballer as long as you have a lot of desire, a big heart, and a boatload of effort. He's a very good player, and he's been a very good servant for this football club. So yeah, I want Town to win 2-1. I want Johnny Hogg to score a penalty.
I've got
Town are going to get a penalty as well. We haven't had one every 4 years.
A home penalty.
I love what you're drinking, Mara.
I've had 6 pints already today. That's why.
Not a chance.
The beer's in Devon, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. The beer is fucking piss wet, flat as fuck. £6 a pint. It's a rip-off. Get me back to Yorkshire.
It's because your trains have let you down.
Yeah, I've got nothing but the utmost respect for Jonathan Hogg. Is he due a testimonial? Will he get a testimonial this summer? That's something else, isn't it? That should be something to look forward to, eh? There'd be some return.
He was due one last summer, wasn't he? So
yeah.
I don't think he wanted one, but like I say, if he doesn't get one, we need to give him a proper send-off.
Yeah,
definitely. Been a good servant, hasn't he? He always puts the effort in. Guarantee a yellow card, puts himself about. He tries to organise, but I think, didn't we speak about a couple of weeks ago? And he were pointing and he were doing this, and the players just weren't interested in what he was saying anymore. So even he's lost his stature in the club. Yeah. That's how much not a team we are. That as biggest leader, I know he gets a lot of stick, and I'm not his biggest fan every now and again, but he puts himself about. He makes challenges. He tries to lead the team, and even players aren't even giving him the respect anymore. That just shows how bad we are on that pitch.
Boris mentioning the cowshed loyalty, they're not singing enough, creating when we're losing. But it's hard, isn't it? It's so hard when the football's absolutely dire as fuck. you can sing to a point, but you've also, it's a two-way street as well, mate. You know, you've got to, and this isn't an Huddersfield Town thing. This is any football club. If the football is dross, and you know as fans, if the players are giving 100%, and if they do, the fans will get behind them. It's as simple as that. But we've just not seen that enough this season. But I think that's it, guys. Gaz, we move on to the final item on the agenda, which is the shirt giveaway. Now we kept saying we would do a giveaway, and we've decided to do it at the end of this show. So, Gaz, do you want to take it for me, mate?
I can. So we had an extremely difficult time downloading a list of subscribers. I blame Ian Kilroy, who allegedly is our IT guru, our genius. We eventually managed to download a list of people who put comments on all of the videos this season, and we used a random generator to pick a name. And I think they might have been on earlier. I'm scrolling back through the comments. I thought I saw him earlier.
I was going to say, is Ian outsourced something else now as well? Is that what he does? He'll get somebody in Singapore to do it for much less money.
Probably, yeah. £4.
Consultant's fee.
He was. Well, the winner is Dean Ball, was the guy that was drawn out. So Dean, you won
at the
I don't know if you're still on, Dean, or not. Yeah. Dean dips in and out, so he does comment occasionally. So if you are about Dean, give us a shout or drop a note on X to Nick or Ian, and we'll arrange to get that shirt to you. Either I'll post it out or I'll bring it to the game on Saturday. Sorry, Christian, you came second, Christian. I'm gutted for you, mate. But yeah, it genuinely wasn't a fix. But I'll get it to you, Dean. He's probably gone anyway.
Well, he dissed our ticker, said it needed updating. So to be fair, we could scratch him off. I mean, that's also down to Ian Kilroy, by the way. That's another Ian special there. We'll have to sort him out, won't we?
Everyone's a critic, Nick. If I'd have known he was criticising us, I'd have fucking picked somebody else. Well, no, so that's a shirt from it was 2003 or 4 season, Nick. We worked it out. So hopefully Dean will get some enjoyment out of that. Hopefully better put it up somewhere nice.
Back when we were lower down in the league, but the players cared and the fans were right behind them, eh?
We had John McAlliskey in that team. Just think about that for a minute.
I'd have him now, mate. Our forwards, he still score more than our front two.
Imagine what Ladapo gets paid, and imagine what McAlliskey got paid. Put it like that.
Well, you should still an handful, didn't he?
Yeah, I played against him in Sunday League. He was still an handful then. That was going back 10 years ago. Sunday League, yeah, we played in pub league against him. Like stretching up and warming, having a fag and stuff like that. Some of us on the touchline and looked across. And, it's fucking it. What's he doing there? It was like, oh no. Yeah. But he still, I think he scored 3, I think, that year. Yeah, he wasn't bad in Sunday League. A few pints after.
Good lad.
And on that note, guys, we'll call it a day there. Thank you again, guys, so much for all your comments. It's been, you guys have been amazing with your support, and it's been great to see how it's grown really over the season. Like I say, if you could be so kind as to subscribe for free on YouTube or Spotify, give us another listen, give us a like on this if you've enjoyed it, and we'll be back, no doubt, after the Leyton Orient destruction to deliver a post-mortem of the season and where it's gone wrong. We'll probably be about 5 hours trying to list everything, all the failures from this season. But yeah, it's hard work, innit? But we're all still here. We're all still smiling, just about. And let's just hope we put on a show, eh? Let's hope we go out with a bang, even if it's like a 4-2 or a 3-3 or something. Let's just offer up some entertainment, eh? And hopefully we can all win that air fryer. Guys, Steve, Greg, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you after Orient. Up the town.
Up the town.